Skin cancer, a subtle and menacing threat, spreads with alarming speed, particularly affecting individuals in the spotlight. This ailment not only alters the physical appearance of celebrities, but also presents significant challenges to their overall well-being. From initial diagnosis to emotional recovery, these stars have bravely fought for their careers and their survival. Pay close attention, as some of these stars might not be with us much longer. Khloe Kardashian. In 2022, Khloe Kardashian shared a personal experience that resonated deeply within the Hollywood community. What began as a small bump on her cheek, initially dismissed as a minor skin issue, evolved into a more serious concern. After delaying medical attention for 7 months, she finally sought a professional evaluation, leading to the diagnosis of a tumor requiring immediate removal. This marked her second encounter with skin cancer. Previously, at the age of 19, Khloe underwent surgery to remove a malignant growth from her back, serving as an early indication of her skin's susceptibility. Despite consistently using sunscreen and taking care of her overall health, this recent scare highlighted that even renowned figures are not exempt from health challenges. Khloe now leverages her influence to promote skin cancer awareness, encouraging routine skin checks and emphasizing the importance of addressing potential warning signs. Hugh Jackman. Beyond his commanding presence on screen and portrayal of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman has been engaged in a prolonged health battle, having faced skin cancer on 6 separate occasions. Since his initial diagnosis in 2013, the actor has undergone numerous procedures to remove cancerous spots, transforming his personal health struggle into a broader public health message. In April 2023, following another procedure to remove a suspicious spot, Hugh used his Instagram platform to urge his followers to prioritize sunscreen use, regardless of the season. His advice served as a critical reminder of the importance of early protection. His message resonated with many, particularly those living in regions with high UV exposure. Having grown up in Australia, Jackman admitted he seldom used sunscreen during his childhood. This oversight ultimately contributed to his later health challenges. However, he has remained transparent about his experience, utilizing each surgery and scar as a means of educating others. His health journey serves as a reminder of the significance of proactive health management. By April 2023, fans were relieved to hear that Hugh's most recent biopsy results came back negative. He used this opportunity to reinforce the importance of prevention, advocating for early detection, routine skin examinations, and consistent sun protection. His dedication has transformed him into an advocate, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing health. Jackman's message resonates globally, but what about you? From where are you viewing this? Share your location in the comments and let's see how far this message can reach. Christy Brinkley. Even supermodels are not immune to skin cancer. In late March 2023, Christy Brinkley disclosed that she had a basal cell carcinoma removed from her face, a reminder that danger can hide in plain sight. She made the announcement with her characteristic charm, expressing gratitude to her doctors while joking, "They stitched me up like a custom-made Dior dress." However, beneath the humor was a serious message. Christy admitted to delaying medical attention, which could have altered the outcome. Her advice? Don't procrastinate. It's a warning that hit home for many, especially those who overlook subtle changes in their skin. Now a vocal advocate for prevention, Christy has transformed her personal scare into a public mission. She emphasizes the importance of SPF 30 and protecting the skin with long sleeves and wide-brimmed hats. Her story cuts through the noise of red carpet fashion, showing that beauty fades fast when health is ignored. Christy's message is simple but unforgettable. Take skin cancer seriously, because even a small delay can come at a massive cost. Melanchamp. Melanchamp, known for her role on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, has been battling skin cancer. She has undergone multiple surgeries to remove more than a dozen malignant tumors, and the fight isn't over. On September 20th, 2023, a routine checkup uncovered another cancerous growth. That night, Teddy shared that she had trouble sleeping, struggling with anxiety and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. She met the diagnosis with resilience, honesty, and determination. Teddy's experience highlights the indiscriminate nature of this disease. Her story encourages awareness, particularly through celebrity interviews, where her openness has had a profound impact. She stresses the vital importance of early detection in saving lives. Teddy's strength lies not only in her surgeries and scars, but also in the hope she extends to others. Her bravery, willingness to speak out, and unwavering advocacy for prioritizing health have elevated her beyond her reality TV persona, making her a voice for survival. Melanie Griffith. Melanie Griffith has spent much of her life in the public eye, but few moments were as vulnerable as the one she shared in 2018. After being diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common yet dangerous form of skin cancer, she underwent treatment to remove a cancerous spot from her nose. Instead of hiding it, Melanie posted a raw, unfiltered selfie with a bandage across her face, revealing the aftermath of a dermabrasion procedure. But that image wasn't just a health update, it was a warning. Griffith used her platform to speak out about the dangers of sun exposure and the urgency of early detection. "Don't ignore suspicious spots and don't wait," she urged her followers. Her voice carried weight, not just because of her fame, but because of her honesty. Melanie's message is simple but crucial. Don't wait until it's too late to take action. Her scars now serve as a badge of strength and a wake-up call to anyone who still takes the sun for granted. Jimmy Buffett. In 2023, the world lost more than a music legend. It lost a spirit of sunshine and escape. Jimmy Buffett, the beloved tropical rock icon, passed away after a quiet yet relentless battle with a rare and aggressive skin cancer known as Merkel cell carcinoma. This fast-growing disease often goes unnoticed, appearing as harmless skin-toned or discolored lumps, catching victims completely off guard. While Buffett never publicly shared his diagnosis, his sister, Lori Buffett McGuane, later revealed that he had been privately battling the illness since 2019. His silence heightened the shock. Fans began to speculate when he canceled several performances, an unusual occurrence for a man known for his dedication to entertaining. Buffett's journey highlights that even the most vibrant stars can be affected by illness. His story resonated within the Hollywood community, not due to scandal, but because of his hidden struggle. "He brought joy to so many people," Lori said, and she was right. Diane Keaton. Diane Keaton has graced Hollywood screens for decades, but behind the iconic hats and timeless charm is a long, personal battle with skin cancer. Her first diagnosis came shockingly early at just 21 years old. In a 2015 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Keaton revealed that she's survived skin cancer not once but twice. For Keaton, the fight runs in the family. Her father, her brother, and even her Aunt Martha were all affected by the same disease. But back in her 20s, she admits she didn't give sun protection a second thought. SPF? She barely knew what it was, and says ignoring it was one of the biggest mistakes of her life. It wasn't until her 40s that the reality finally hit. She changed everything. Now she won't step outside without sunscreen in her bag, and her wardrobe reflects a deliberate choice to shield her skin from further damage. Brooke Shields. In 2009, Brooke Shields faced a terrifying wake-up call. What seemed like an ordinary mole on her face turned out to be precancerous, and the diagnosis rattled her. For someone who had spent years under both studio lights and the sun, it was a moment of realization that skin damage doesn't always show up right away. Like many of her generation, Shields admitted she didn't grasp the dangers of sun exposure when she was younger. Growing up in New York, she and her friends would sunbathe on rooftops, chasing the perfect tan without knowing the long-term cost. She believed beach sunburns were the only threat, not the casual, everyday sun that would leave its mark decades later. That scare changed everything. Brooke became hyper-aware of the damage already done, and the steps needed to protect what remained. Her experience is a powerful reminder that sun damage is cumulative, and stopping the habit doesn't erase past exposure. Now a vocal advocate for skin health, Shields hopes her story resonates far beyond Hollywood gossip, especially for those still ignoring the quiet dangers of tanning culture. Did Brooke Shields' wake-up call make you rethink how dangerous the sun really is? Type yes if her story changed your perspective, or no if you think the risks are still exaggerated. Let's see where everyone stands in the comments. Ariana Maddox. Back in 2018, reality TV star Ariana Maddox dropped what seemed like a minor health update on Instagram, a quiet mention of removing a piece of cancer and undergoing a lymph node biopsy. But behind that calm post was a terrifying truth. Maddox was battling melanoma, one of the deadliest skin cancers. Doctors had brushed off her concerns for years, assuring her everything was fine. But something didn't sit right. She kept pushing for answers, and that determination may have saved her life. When the cancer was finally caught, it was already stage 1, meaning the clock was ticking. In a celebrity interview with the Skin Cancer Foundation in 2023, she revealed the chilling detail. The tumor had likely been growing for much longer than anyone realized. Thankfully, it hadn't spread. Immediate surgery followed, along with a biopsy to confirm the cancer hadn't reached her lymphatic system. Since then, Maddox has transformed her trauma into purpose. She's now a vocal advocate for early detection, sun protection, and self-advocacy. Her warning is crystal clear. Melanoma doesn't always come with symptoms, but its consequences can be life-changing. Her story is a wake-up call and a reminder that even under the lights of Hollywood gossip, real battles often go unseen. Whitney Carson. At just 19, Whitney Carson was living her dream, dazzling audiences on Dancing with the Stars and rising fast as one of America's most promising performers. But just as the spotlight found her, a shadow crept in. Doctors diagnosed her with melanoma, a dangerous form of skin cancer that no one saw coming. The news hit like a punch to the gut. Carson, the picture of strength and vitality, was suddenly facing a life-altering diagnosis. Still, she chose to keep it a secret. Not even the show's producers or her dance partners knew. While cameras captured her grace and energy, behind the scenes she quietly underwent surgery, removing both a mole and multiple lymph nodes in a desperate effort to stop the disease from spreading. The pressure to seem unstoppable was overwhelming, but beneath the glitz and red carpet fashion, Whitney was fighting a hidden war. Years later, she opened up about the toll it took, the emotional strain of pretending to be invincible while grappling with something so terrifying and real. Her comeback became more than just a return to stage, it was a message. Carson now uses her voice to urge others to trust their instincts, take their health seriously, and never let silence stand in the way of survival. Andy Cohen. In 2020, Bravo host Andy Cohen made a surprising revelation on Jenny McCarthy's Sirius XM show. He had been diagnosed with melanoma. It all started with a small, dark spot on his lip. He ignored it at first, brushing it off as nothing serious. But that silence nearly became a deadly mistake. It wasn't until longtime friend Kelly Ripa stepped in that things changed. She urged him to get it checked immediately, warning, "That looks like skin cancer." She was right. That one moment of concern may have saved his life. For Cohen, the diagnosis hit hard. Known for his love of tanning and sun-kissed appearances, he realized those habits had come at a steep price. After undergoing treatment, Cohen turned his lifestyle upside down. The sun-chasing days were over. Skin protection became his new obsession. In a world obsessed with red carpet fashion, Cohen's transformation serves as a stark reminder. What's glamorous on the outside can sometimes hide a dangerous reality underneath. His story isn't just a health scare, it's a life-altering lesson in listening to those who care, and never ignoring your body's warnings. Richard Tyler Blevens. In March 2024, the gaming world was shaken when Richard Tyler Blevens, better known as Ninja, opened up about a deeply personal and unexpected battle. At just 32, the streaming sensation revealed he had been diagnosed with melanoma, a fast-moving form of skin cancer, discovered during a routine skin check. The warning sign? A suspicious mole on the bottom of his foot, spotted not by a doctor but by his wife, Jessica. Her gut feeling turned out to be life-saving. Doctors removed the mole and ran tests. The result? Melanoma. And that wasn't all. A second suspicious spot nearby was also taken out, just to be safe. Thankfully, the cancer was caught early, before it had the chance to spread. But the scare was real, and Ninja didn't stay silent. He took to social media to deliver a blunt, powerful message to his massive audience. Don't wait. Get checked. Take your skin seriously. In an industry focused on lights, fame, and celebrity interviews, Ninja's raw honesty stood out. Kevin Jonas. In June 2024, Kevin Jonas stunned fans by posting a video that revealed far more than just another day at the clinic. Calm but serious, the Jonas Brothers star pointed to a small spot on his forehead and said the words no one expected. It's skin cancer. At just 37, Kevin had been diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, the most common yet often ignored type of skin cancer. Thanks to early detection, he underwent surgery to have the tumor removed. But instead of keeping the ordeal private, he chose to share it with the world, turning a frightening diagnosis into a life-saving message. His video didn't just raise awareness, it shattered the illusion that fame shields anyone from real-life threats. From pop sensation to father of two and business leader, Kevin Jonas showed that vulnerability is not weakness, it's power. Ewan McGregor. In 2008, Ewan McGregor stunned fans with a quiet yet shocking revelation. He had undergone surgery to remove two cancerous moles from his face. One of them was alarmingly close to his eye. The discovery came during a routine health check, a visit he never expected would change everything. Doctors urged him to act fast, and that advice may have saved his life. Known for his unforgettable roles in Moulin Rouge and Star Wars, McGregor's image has long been one of fearless adventure, whether crossing continents on a motorcycle or commanding the screen with intensity. But this close brush with skin cancer exposed a rarely seen vulnerability. Far from just a Hollywood heartthrob, McGregor is a father of five, a dedicated humanitarian, and a proud voice for Scottish heritage. Facing cancer didn't weaken his image, it added depth. It reminded audiences that even those we admire most are fighting unseen battles behind the scenes. Rodic. In May 2024, fans were stunned when former US Open champion Andy Roddick revealed a battle he had quietly carried for years, skin cancer. Since retiring in 2012, Roddick had kept his condition private. But on the Served podcast, he finally broke his silence. He described multiple procedures, including the removal of squamous cell carcinoma from his lip, and more recently, laser treatments to combat deep sun damage. Those unexplained red spots and facial inflammation fans once speculated about? Now we know the truth. Rodic isn't asking for sympathy. What he wants is impact. He's using his platform to issue a warning, especially to young athletes and parents. Long hours under the sun can leave invisible scars that surface years later. In the spotlight of Hollywood gossip, many focus on fame, not health. But Roddick's message is sharp and clear. The sun is no joke. Protect yourself. Catch it early. Because sometimes the toughest match you'll ever face is the one inside your own body. Richard Simmons. On March 20th, fitness legend Richard Simmons broke years of silence with a gut-wrenching confession. He's been battling skin cancer. In a heartfelt Facebook post, Simmons revealed he had found a strange lump just beneath his right eye. Something felt off. Trusting his instincts, he went to a dermatologist, and the news was grim. Basal cell carcinoma. The next steps were immediate and brutal. Without anesthesia, doctors began burning the cancer cells directly off his skin using a small instrument. Simmons described the searing pain in raw detail. The burning sensation was really painful. But worse, it didn't work the first time. Some cancer cells remained, forcing him to endure another round. No tears, just grit. Simmons returned for the second treatment with quiet determination, refusing to let fear define him. And in true theatrical spirit, he signed off with 3 haunting words, to be continued. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner stunned fans with a quiet but powerful Instagram post, a close-up photo showing her nose wrapped in a red bandage. Her caption was short, but the message rang loud. Recently, I had to remove some sun damage on my nose. PSA: always wear sunscreen. It was later confirmed that the spot was basal cell carcinoma, a common yet serious form of skin cancer linked to years of sun exposure. Jenner didn't share all the details, but the image spoke for itself. As a former Olympic gold medalist and longtime public figure, Jenner spent countless hours outdoors, training, golfing, and living under the California sun. That lifestyle, though inspiring, came with hidden risks. Her experience is a chilling reminder that skin cancer can strike anyone, and what looks like a small blemish could be something far more dangerous. Jenner's post stripped everything down to what really matters: your health. A single image, a simple warning, and a truth too important to ignore. Harry Jowsey. In 2024, reality TV star Harry Jowsey, known from Too Hot to Handle and Dancing with the Stars, took to TikTok with a serious and unexpected update. He had been diagnosed with skin cancer. There was no dramatic buildup, just a raw admission. There's really no easy way to say this, he told his fans. During a recent checkup driven by his own gut feeling, doctors found a suspicious spot on his shoulder. It had been sitting there, unnoticed, for over a year. The diagnosis stunned him. Still, Jowsey kept his cool. He assured his followers he'd be okay, but his message was urgent. Protect your skin. Check yourself. Don't wait. In his laid-back, cheeky style, he added, "If you're a freckled little frog like me, map out your moles and get checked." Underneath the humor was a hard truth. Skin cancer can strike anyone, young, healthy, and seemingly invincible. On a scale from 1 to 9, how shocked were you by Harry Jowsey's cancer battle? 1 equals saw it coming. 9 equals completely blindsided and heartbroken. Drop your number in the comments and tell us why. Let's see who really paid attention. Rosie ODonnell. In September 2024, Rosie ODonnell noticed something small, a lump near her left eye that had begun to crust over. It didn't look serious at first, but her instincts told her otherwise. After getting it checked, the diagnosis came: basal cell carcinoma, a common but serious form of skin cancer. Fortunately, it was caught early. Surgery followed swiftly, and Rosie has since made a full recovery. But instead of moving on quietly, she took to social media to sound the alarm. She urged her followers to examine their skin regularly, warning that even the smallest red bump or patchy spot can carry dangerous consequences. This isn't Rosie's first health scare. She previously survived a heart attack in 2012 and faced a breast cancer scare in 2010. Through it all, she's used her platform not just for entertainment, but to educate and inspire. Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, the Oscar-winning powerhouse, isn't just a legend on screen. She's a 2-time cancer survivor who turned her pain into purpose. In 2003, Bates was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She underwent surgery and chemotherapy and won the fight. But nearly a decade later, in 2012, life dealt her another devastating blow: breast cancer. This time, she made a bold decision. She chose a double mastectomy. But the battle didn't end there. The removal of 19 lymph nodes triggered a long-term condition: lymphedema in both arms. It was painful, limiting, and permanent. Still, Bates didn't back down. Through lifestyle changes, she dropped 80 pounds, committed to a healthier diet, and began managing her condition with compression garments. She didn't just survive, she became a warrior for others. As a national spokesperson for the Lymphatic Education and Research Network, Bates now uses her voice for those who are often overlooked. Her mantra? "We have lymphedema, but we are not have lymphedema." At 76, she's still commanding screens, still fighting, and still inspiring millions. Sarah Ferguson. In June 2023, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, faced a life-altering diagnosis: early-stage breast cancer discovered during a routine checkup. She quickly underwent a mastectomy and reconstructive surgery, but what happened next sent another shockwave. During the operation, doctors removed several moles for analysis. One of them revealed something even more alarming: melanoma. Just months later, in January 2024, Sarah received her second cancer diagnosis. Further surgery followed to remove surrounding tissue and test her lymph nodes. The relief came when results confirmed the cancer hadn't spread. She didn't require chemotherapy or immunotherapy, but she now faces ongoing skin treatments and constant medical surveillance. She called it a bombshell, a moment that shook her to the core. But with unwavering support from her daughters, she fought back and won. By May 2024, Princess Beatrice confirmed that Sarah had fully recovered and was thriving at 64. Janelle Brown. In 2021, Sister Wives star Janelle Brown noticed what looked like a fading scar on her upper lip, something she assumed was just an old cold sore. But when she finally had it checked, the diagnosis was more serious: basal cell carcinoma. It wasn't considered aggressive, but it was still a form of skin cancer. She underwent surgery and made a full recovery. Or so it seemed. Fast forward to March 2024. During a routine skin exam, doctors found 2 more precancerous spots and a new tumor growing on her lip. This time, the tumor was removed again, and the suspicious areas were treated with cryotherapy before they could develop into something worse. Janelle didn't stay silent. She took to social media to share every step, turning her private struggle into a public lesson in prevention. Despite being vigilant with sunscreen, she reminded fans that regular skin checks are non-negotiable. Jessie Tyler Ferguson. In 2015, Modern Family star Jessie Tyler Ferguson received news that would change his life. He had skin cancer. A tumor was found on his face, and he quickly underwent surgery to have it removed. He didn't keep the experience quiet. Instead, he went public, sharing a candid post on Instagram thanking his doctor for removing the cancer from my face. With his signature wit, he even joked that the makeup team on Modern Family had their work cut out for them, hiding his post-op stitches. But beneath the humor was a serious warning. Ferguson, a redhead with fair skin, used his platform to emphasize the danger for people with sensitive skin tones, urging them to wear sunscreen and, more importantly, to never skip a skin check. This wasn't a one-time scare. Ferguson revealed that with every exam, doctors usually remove a bit of skin to test. That routine checkup is exactly how his cancer was caught. Cybill Shepherd. In 2002, moonlighting star Cybill Shepherd discovered something alarming: a rough, scaly patch on her back that didn't go away. Trusting her instincts, she went straight to the doctor. The diagnosis: a rare and dangerous form of skin cancer called dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans, or DFSP. Shepherd underwent surgery to remove the tumor, a procedure that left a noticeable scar. To help hide it, she later chose to undergo cosmetic surgery. But the physical scars were just one part of the story. The emotional wake-up call ran even deeper. Since then, the once sun-loving star has transformed her lifestyle. She never leaves home without covering her skin, and now speaks openly about the importance of early detection. Her experience sends one message loud and clear: don't ignore the signs, they might be your only warning. Clint Eastwood. In 1997, Hollywood icon Clint Eastwood, known for his steely gaze and tough-as-nails persona, faced a very real, very human challenge: skin cancer. A small lesion on his left cheek turned out to be basal cell carcinoma, a common but potentially dangerous form of skin cancer if left untreated. Eastwood underwent surgery to remove the cancer, leaving a noticeable pinkish scar just under his left eye. For a time, he avoided cameras, uncomfortable with being photographed until the wound had healed. Though Eastwood never spoke publicly in detail about the ordeal, the story eventually surfaced, and it served as a quiet warning to others. At the time, it shocked fans used to seeing him as invincible. Now in his 90s, Eastwood continues to lead a disciplined life. Healthy eating, daily meditation, and outdoor caution are all part of his ongoing wellness routine. Elizabeth Taylor. In 2002, Hollywood legend Elizabeth Taylor was diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common but still dangerous form of skin cancer. Fortunately, it was caught early, and after treatment, her doctors confirmed the cancer had been successfully removed. But this wasn't Taylor's first health scare. In 1997, she underwent surgery to remove a benign brain tumor, and throughout her life, she battled a cascade of serious conditions: pneumonia, spinal issues, and congestive heart failure. The illness that ultimately claimed her life in 2011 at the age of 79. Despite her private fight with cancer, Taylor never lost her drive to help others. She remained fiercely committed to humanitarian work, especially through the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, a cause she championed until the very end. John Cena. In 2025, WWE legend and actor John Cena shocked fans with a deeply personal admission. He had been diagnosed with skin cancer not once, but twice. The first scare came during a routine skin exam when doctors found a cancerous spot on his right chest. Just a year later, another growth appeared near his shoulder. Both were surgically removed. But the wake-up call was loud and clear. Cena opened up about the years he spent under the sun, growing up in Massachusetts, then moving to Florida, without ever thinking twice about sunscreen. "I was very stubborn and thought it wouldn't affect me," he confessed. "But eventually it caught up with me." Determined to turn his mistake into action, Cena teamed up with Neutrogena for the Sunscreen You Can't See campaign, urging men in particular to take their skin health seriously. For someone known for toughness in the ring, this was a vulnerable moment that carried a powerful message. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond, eternally remembered as the eccentric Screech Powers from Saved by the Bell, was more than just comedic relief on Saturday mornings. He symbolized a generation. Emerging on television in the late 1980s, he rapidly gained popularity, captivating audiences with his quirky charm. However, fame, particularly for young actors, rarely follows a smooth path. As the limelight dimmed, his public persona became less clear. In early 2021, Dustin discovered a lump in his throat. The diagnosis was quick and devastating: stage 4 small cell carcinoma. He passed away just 3 weeks later on February 1st, 2021, at the age of 44. The news shocked and saddened fans. Dustin Diamond's story is complex, marked by peaks and valleys, laughter and sorrow. His untimely departure forces us to examine the delicate boundary between illusion and reality. Events off-screen hold significant weight, and in some instances are even more crucial. Selma Blair. Selma Blair, renowned for her memorable roles in Cruel Intentions, Legally Blonde, and Hellboy, has always projected a commanding presence on screen. However, her personal journey has highlighted the true extent of her inner strength. For years, she experienced unexplained symptoms, battling exhaustion, pain, and balance issues without clear answers. Finally, in 2018, she received the diagnosis that redefined her life: multiple sclerosis. This news was profoundly impactful. MS had already begun to affect her, making daily activities challenging and forcing a temporary halt to her acting career. However, instead of retreating from public life, Blair made a courageous decision to share her story. With raw honesty and vulnerability, she invited the world to witness her struggle, not for pity, but to promote awareness and offer hope to others dealing with silent suffering. Since then, Selma has become a dedicated advocate, employing her platform to reshape societal attitudes toward disability and chronic illness. By July 2024, she started reclaiming elements of her former life. With renewed strength and determination, she returned to the industry, not as the actress she once was, but as a resilient figure with a profound mission. She continues to inspire, proving that courage isn't the absence of struggle, but the determination to persevere despite it. Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond, the distinct voice renowned for Sweet Caroline, did more than just perform songs. He engraved them into the collective memory of an era. Diamond reigned as a beloved songwriter and performer for over 5 decades. However, in 2018, he announced a heartbreaking revelation. He had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a progressive condition that gradually impairs movement. Nevertheless, Neil didn't surrender quietly. He concluded his 50th anniversary tour before retiring from touring life. Stepping away from the stage was not only challenging, but also emotionally taxing, both for Diamond and his numerous fans who had grown up with his music. Yet, in true Neil Diamond fashion, he handled it with elegance. By 2023, he found contentment in a more relaxed life, treasuring time with family and concentrating on his well-being. As of 2025, his music remains vibrant, a timeless soundtrack of hope, sorrow, and indelible happiness. Tim Curry. Tim Curry, the celebrated actor famous for his role in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, experienced a life-altering event in 2012 when he suffered a significant stroke. This unforeseen incident dramatically altered his existence. The formerly vibrant stage performer faced a challenging reality, dealing with impaired movement and uncertainty about his future. However, instead of withdrawing, Curry embarked on a path of reinvention. Choosing not to retire from the entertainment industry, Curry channeled his efforts into voice acting, lending his talent to numerous animated projects for both film and television. While he may no longer command the stage, his distinctive and compelling vocal style remains his defining characteristic. Beyond his talent, Curry's resilience stands out. He didn't allow the stroke to define his identity. Rather, he redefined the meaning of unwavering resolve. Audiences were inspired as he confronted hardship with determination and creativity. More than just a survivor, Tim Curry has become a symbol of perseverance. As of 2025 at 79, he continues to inspire, often attending fan events with a friendly demeanor and keen wit, demonstrating that he remains active and engaged. His journey isn't just about physical recovery, it's about finding new meaning. In a culture that often dismisses individuals after adversity, Tim Curry reshaped his narrative, ensuring his voice remained audible. Sam Neill. Sam Neill, the esteemed actor from Jurassic Park and Peaky Blinders, has long been admired for his subtle charisma and impressive acting abilities. Whether he was captivating viewers as the pragmatic Dr. Alan Grant or eliciting sympathy in Hunt for the Wilder People, Neill portrayed his roles with ease. However, in 2022, reality took an unexpected turn, testing his strength beyond the acting world. He was diagnosed with angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma, a rare and aggressive form of blood cancer. Initially, the symptoms were minor, merely a few lumps, but what appeared insignificant quickly escalated, leading him into a whirlwind of chemotherapy and trial treatments. Refusing to succumb, Neill addressed the illness with the same quiet determination that defined his most famous roles. By March 2023, the welcome news arrived. Sam was in remission, cancer-free, alive. Now in 2025, at 77, he embraces life with heightened gratitude, channeling his experiences into purpose. He has not only continued to act, but has also openly discussed his journey, providing support to others facing similar challenges. Sam Neill isn't simply a survivor, he's a storyteller who transformed his most challenging chapter into a potent message of optimism. These narratives are resonating around the world. Share your country in the comments to showcase the global support. Still following? Type 1 in the comments if you're staying until the end. The most compelling stories are yet to come. One in particular will leave you speechless. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, born on New Year's Eve in 1959, was formerly one of Hollywood's most captivating and versatile actors. From his cool portrayal of Iceman in Top Gun to his profound portrayal of Jim Morrison in The Doors, Kilmer established a legacy of unforgettable performances. He even donned the Batman suit in Batman Forever, adding depth to the iconic superhero. However, behind the spotlight, a deeply personal journey unfolded. In 2015, Kilmer was diagnosed with throat cancer, a devastating blow for an actor whose voice was his trademark. Years of treatments, including a tracheostomy, along with chemotherapy and radiation, caused lasting damage to his vocal cords. His distinctive voice faded to a whisper, yet his spirit never faltered. In his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, published in 2020, he candidly discussed his challenges, fears, and unwavering determination. In 2021, Kilmer returned to the screen in Top Gun: Maverick, reuniting with Tom Cruise in an emotionally charged scene that resonated with audiences worldwide. Sadly, Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, 2025 at age 65 from complications of pneumonia in Los Angeles. Although he passed too soon, his legacy endures in the roles he played, the courage he exhibited, and the countless lives he touched. Positive impact on the world. Alex Tbeck. Alex Tbeck wasn't merely the host of Jeopardy! He was its heart. For 37 remarkable seasons, he presided over the show with a balanced combination of intellect, humor, and warmth. Over 8,200 episodes later, he became more than a familiar face. He became a daily presence in our lives. His command of trivia, precise timing, and calm manner earned him a Guinness World Record and, more importantly, the affection of millions. However, in 2019, fans were stunned when Tbeck disclosed that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, a relentless disease known for its poor survival rate. At 79, facing daunting odds, he responded with the same grace and honesty he exhibited in every episode. Rather than retreat, he pressed on, choosing transparency over privacy and transforming his battle into a call for awareness, early detection, and optimism. His unwavering dedication made his fight even more exceptional. Despite enduring chemotherapy and the toll of illness, Tbeck continued to host Jeopardy! With dignity. His memoir, The Answer Is, released in 2020, provided fans with a look into the life of the beloved icon, revealing his humor, values, fears, and joys. On November 8, 2020, Alex Tbeck passed away at the age of 80, just over a year after his diagnosis. His death left a void not only on television, but also in the hearts of countless viewers who saw him as more than a host. He was a mentor, a source of comfort, and an understated inspiration. Linda Ronstad. Linda Ronstad, one of the most influential voices in music, established a career that defied genres and redefined the role of women in rock. From the 1970s onward, she excelled, effortlessly transitioning between rock, pop, country, and mariachi. Her voice consistently raw, genuine, and memorable. With over 100 million records sold and numerous awards, Ronstad didn't just follow trends, she set them. However, in 2013, the music fell silent. Subtle signs had gradually appeared, trembling hands, slight shifts in pitch, but it wasn't until a Parkinson's diagnosis that everything became clear. The disease gradually took away her defining characteristic, her voice. For someone who had effortlessly delivered ballads and anthems, the silence was agonizing. Yet, Linda didn't withdraw. Instead, she continued to be authentic, speaking with honesty and grace. Unable to sing, she found a new purpose, raising awareness for Parkinson's disease, utilizing her story to educate and support others. As of May 2025, approaching her 79th birthday, Ronstad remains powerful, not through song, but through resilience. Her narrative is no longer solely about music. It's about strength, identity, and the fortitude of a woman who refused to be defined by her losses. Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John was more than just a celebrity. She was an inspiration. From her breakthrough in the 1970s with chart-topping hits and her iconic role as Sandy in Grease, Olivia captivated audiences globally with her voice, beauty, and unwavering optimism. Yet, behind the fame was a woman fighting a personal battle, a battle that began in 1992 with her initial diagnosis of breast cancer. She faced not one, but 3 separate battles with the disease. Each time, Olivia confronted cancer with grace, courage, and unwavering optimism. She once stated, "I don't feel like I'm dying, I feel like I'm living." And she truly meant it. Even in pain, she discovered purpose. She didn't just fight her disease, she transformed it into a mission. Through the Olivia Newton-John Foundation Fund, she championed research, supported holistic therapies, and brought tangible hope to countless individuals facing similar hardships. Upon her passing in August 2022, Olivia left behind more than just records and movie roles. She left a legacy of empathy, advocacy, and hope that endures across the globe. In life and in death, she demonstrated that true strength lies not in evading difficulty, but in turning it into something meaningful. Similar to Kathy Bates, Olivia Newton-John proved that even the most challenging journeys can leave a Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, has long captivated audiences with his approachable charm and memorable performances in films like Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Saving Private Ryan. However, behind his on-screen brilliance is a personal health journey that is equally compelling. In 2013, Hanks revealed he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, a condition that wasn't entirely unexpected but still impactful. For years, doctors had cautioned him about being pre-diabetic. Hanks, known for significant weight changes for roles, had frequently pushed his body to extremes. Combined with genetics and a history of unhealthy eating, the odds eventually caught up. But, true to form, he didn't dwell on it. He took action. With quiet determination, Hanks committed to improving his health. He now dedicates at least an hour daily to exercise, whether it's a brisk walk, time on the treadmill, or hikes with his dog. His diet, once reliant on processed foods, has undergone a complete transformation. He still enjoys occasional treats, but every bite is now conscious, part of a larger mission to maintain control over his health. Do you think Tom Hanks' story can inspire people to prioritize their well-being? Type yes or no in the comments and explain why. Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox, the incredibly charismatic actor who made Marty McFly a cinematic icon in Back to the Future, and imbued Alex P. Keaton with his unforgettable charm and Family Ties, rose to prominence with an energy that seemed unstoppable. From the late 1970s through the 90s, he became one of Hollywood's most profitable and beloved stars. In 1991, at just 29 years old and at the peak of his career, Fox was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a progressive neurological disorder typically associated with older individuals. He kept the diagnosis private for 7 years, grappling in silence with a reality that threatened not only his career but his sense of self. When he finally shared his condition publicly in 1998, the world was shocked. But Fox wasn't seeking sympathy. He was embracing a new role: advocate, fighter, and voice for millions. Rather than retreat, he moved forward. He continued to act, earning Emmy and Golden Globe nominations even as his symptoms worsened. In 2000, he launched the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, which is now the largest nonprofit funder of Parkinson's drug development in the world. As of 2025, Fox, now 63, has reduced his professional engagements, but his influence has only increased. Through decades of unwavering advocacy and personal transparency, he has redefined what it means to live with Parkinson's, not as a victim, but as a symbol of hope, humor, and resilience. Tommy Chong. Tommy Chong, the celebrated counterculture icon and one half of the renowned Cheech and Chong duo, has spent years entertaining audiences, and not just metaphorically. With his relaxed charm, bold comedic timing, and rebellious humor, Chong became a symbol of stoner comedy and anti-establishment coolness. However, behind the humor was a man who would confront a serious fight. In 2008, Chong was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Initially, doctors told him it was slow-growing and not cause for immediate concern. But over time, the illness became more aggressive. Rather than pursue a conventional medical route, Chong, always unconventional, turned to something deeply personal: herbal remedies. He began exploring herbal therapies as part of his treatment, crediting natural remedies with managing his symptoms and maintaining his spirit. For Chong, herbal medicine wasn't just a treatment. It was a philosophy, a lifelong belief in nature's ability to heal and liberate. Now 86 years old in 2025, Chong remains unapologetically himself, sharp, outspoken, and still making audiences laugh. He has continued to perform, podcast, and advocate for herbal medicine rights, blending humor with activism in his distinctive style. Dan Reynolds. Dan Reynolds, the electrifying frontman of Imagine Dragons, has always channeled raw emotion into his music. But it wasn't until a concert in Leeds, UK, that he revealed a pain far deeper than any lyric. For years, Reynolds quietly endured the effects of ankylosing spondylitis, a chronic autoimmune disease that causes the body to attack its own joints, leading to persistent inflammation, stiffness, and pain. He dismissed it through high school and early fame, attributing the constant aches in his knees and ankles to the demands of his work. But during that show, Reynolds made a bold decision to share his truth. The moment was not only cathartic, but transformative. Inspired by the impact of his words, he launched a web series titled This Is My Life Live, highlighting others living with the same condition and providing them with the platform he once desired. His vulnerability became a beacon for many who had silently suffered. In addition to ankylosing spondylitis, Reynolds also lives with ulcerative colitis, another autoimmune disorder. For years, he attempted to ignore both diagnoses. Now he's taking a different approach, addressing them directly. Thanks to a balanced mix of diet, exercise, medication, and mindfulness, Reynolds is in remission and continues to thrive. By being open, he's not only managing his own health, but also changing the way chronic illness is discussed in public. His message is simple but powerful. You can live a fulfilling life, even when your body is working against you. Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas has progressed significantly since his early days as a teen idol, but behind the fame is a personal battle he's waged since age 13: type 1 diabetes. What began as a frightening diagnosis, marked by weight loss, exhaustion, and confusion, has since evolved into a lifelong mission to educate, empower, and support others living with the disease. And in 2025, Jonas brought that mission to the biggest stage in the nation, the Super Bowl. In an impressive advertisement, Jonas introduced the world to the Dexcom G7, a cutting-edge continuous glucose monitor that eliminates the need for traditional finger pricks. It's not just a device, it's a revolution in diabetes management. For Jonas, it's also personal. The commercial wasn't merely a tech showcase, it was a message of hope. In it, he reflects on the isolation he experienced after being diagnosed and how far he's come in understanding, managing, and even embracing the condition. While balancing a successful music career and family life, Jonas remains committed to advocacy. With new Jonas Brothers music on the horizon and millions watching his every move, he's using his platform to change the narrative around diabetes. Through his work and openness about his journey, Nick Jonas isn't simply managing his condition. He's redefining what it means to live fully with it. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Catherine Zeta-Jones, known for her captivating performances in films like Chicago and The Mask of Zorro, has always appeared to be the epitome of glamour and control. However, behind the red carpet smiles and award-winning roles was a personal struggle she could no longer disregard. In 2010, while her husband Michael Douglas was fighting a life-threatening battle with stage 4 throat cancer, Zeta Jones became his support, managing his treatments, caring for their children, and attempting to maintain stability. However, even the most resilient structures can crumble under stress. The relentless pressure took a toll, and Zeta Jones found herself overwhelmed by anxiety, exhaustion, and despair. In April 2011, she made the brave decision to seek treatment at a mental health facility. There, she was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder, a condition characterized by extreme lows and periods of hypomania. Her stay lasted just 5 days, but it marked a turning point in her life. Rather than conceal her diagnosis, Zeta Jones openly discussed it, helping to reduce the stigma associated with mental health. She sought further treatment in 2013 and has since become a strong advocate for mental health awareness. She continues to balance career, family, and self-care, demonstrating that strength isn't about being invulnerable. It's about knowing when to seek help and having the courage to persevere. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams, the outspoken host of Daytime Talk, built her career on saying what others wouldn't. However, in recent years, her most significant statements have been about her health. Diagnosed with Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder that affects the thyroid, Williams initially attempted to push through, as many women do, dismissing symptoms while prioritizing others. In a candid interview, she admitted that neglecting her health nearly cost her everything. We, as women, especially if we have families, we tend to take care of everybody but ourselves, she said, urging viewers to listen to their bodies. From the outset, she was transparent, discussing her battles with fatigue, anxiety, and fluctuating weight, symptoms that baffled many until she named them. Despite battling Graves' disease, menopause, and mounting personal challenges, Wendy refused to abandon her career. She remained dedicated to The Wendy Williams Show, appearing even when her body needed rest. By 2018, however, she prioritized her health, stepping back, entering rehab, and seeking the care she required. By 2025, Wendy is back home, recovering and recentering her life. While her television return remains uncertain, her spirit remains strong. Appreciative of her fans and more self-aware than ever, she continues her journey not just as an entertainer but as a survivor, proof that strength sometimes means stepping out of the spotlight to heal. Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, one of the most influential figures in modern hip-hop, has captivated fans with his lyrical talent and relentless work ethic. However, behind the verses and chart-topping hits is a quieter battle he kept hidden for years. Wayne has epilepsy, a neurological condition that causes unpredictable seizures. Initially, he kept his diagnosis private, unsure of the potential reactions. But everything changed after a near-fatal episode landed him in the hospital. That hospitalization wasn't an isolated incident. Wayne has experienced multiple seizures over the years, many triggered by exhaustion, stress, and the demands of his career. Some have occurred mid-flight, forcing emergency landings and raising concerns about his safety. But instead of letting fear or stigma silence him, Wayne chose to speak out, increasing awareness of a condition that's often misunderstood. Today, he continues to dominate the music world, but with a new sense of purpose. By sharing his story, Lil Wayne has initiated important conversations about epilepsy and health within the entertainment industry. His resilience isn't just about surviving seizures, it's about redefining strength, using his platform to entertain and empower. Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner, the captivating actress who rose to prominence in the 1980s with her distinct voice and fiery presence, was once the embodiment of fearless Hollywood glamour. Films like Body Heat and Romancing the Stone made her an icon, but behind the scenes, her world was quietly unraveling. In the early 90s, Turner began experiencing unexplained pain. The diagnosis was rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic autoimmune disease that slowly transformed movement into unbearable agony. Fearing the potential repercussions, she chose to keep it a secret. As her posture changed and her physical appearance altered, tabloids speculated, labeling her an alcoholic, unaware of the more complex reality. Turner later admitted that alcohol became a coping mechanism, a means to alleviate the constant pain. But even as her body struggled, her spirit remained strong. In 2002, she made a courageous decision. She entered rehab, not only to address her drinking, but to reclaim her health and peace of mind. That decision marked the beginning of her transformation. Now, Turner embraces life on her own terms, healthy, balanced, and confident. Gracing the stage and screen occasionally, she is no longer pursuing stardom. She's seeking truth. In doing so, she's become more than a movie star, a survivor with a story that needs to be heard. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson, the iconic Hollywood rebel, redefined what it meant to be a leading actor. With a career spanning over 5 decades and 12 Oscar nominations, the most for any male actor, Nicholson wasn't merely part of film history, he shaped it. From the intensity of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to the chilling madness of The Shining, he delivered performances that have become ingrained in the collective memory. Off-camera, his life was equally renowned, filled with parties, romances, and a devil-may-care charm. But then, as the 2000s progressed, Jack began to disappear. No new films, no awards show appearances. Whispers began to circulate. Was he unwell? Had age taken its toll? By 2013, Nicholson addressed the speculation, assuring fans that his mind remained sharp. The truth, he stated, was straightforward. He no longer felt driven by the work. If a role didn't inspire him, he wasn't interested. By 2025, Nicholson lives a private life in his Beverly Hills home, surrounded by memories of his illustrious career. At 88, he rarely appears in public, but his mystique has grown. Though he may have stepped away from the camera, Jack Nicholson remains larger than life, a man who once ruled Hollywood and chose to conclude his final act away from the spotlight. That wraps up today's emotional journey through 25 famous actors facing cancer, then and now, 2025. If any of these stories hit you hard, don't scroll past. Tap that like button, share this with someone who needs a wake-up call about their health, and drop a comment. Which story shook you the most and why? Let's talk about it below. Because behind every spotlight, there's a battle we don't always see. And every life is worth fighting for.